Now, today, we are gonna see, what if Naruto had sensual harem with YORUICHI? Naruto x Bleach. Join Patreon for early access of Super Op stories, also adult and steamy Harry Potter stories too. Please subscribe this channel, because definitely I will try my best to provide a valuable content for you all. Also check the description to support the original author for this beautiful creation. A 6-year-old Naruto walks through one of the many forests in Konoha, holding his bleeding left arm. He had just been attacked again. It was always the same. Every birthday they came, beating him, stabbing him, calling him demon, never relenting, nothing helped. He always desperately tried to avoid them on the 10th of October, the day of his birth and the day Kyuubi died. But they always found him anyway. And once they did, he would not get away. How could he? He was just a kid. Tonight was just the 6th intense beating he had survived in his short life. He finally stopped walking and sat on an outcropping of rock next to an old pond. Why? Why do they hurt me? His tear-stained face looked up at the crescent moon through the trees. Why did they sneer at him? Why did they glare at him and throw things at him? Why did they beat him on his birthday? Why was he always alone? He looked into the calm crystal waters and saw that his hair, face, clothes, and mouth had blood slowly drying on them. He splashed the water on his face and rubbed both the wet and dried blood from his skin. As he looked into the water, he couldn't help but let his tears fall into the crystal pool reflecting the moonlight. I wish that I could protect myself. I wish I could make someone proud of me. I wish I could have something, anything that the village or anyone else couldn't take from me. His tears continued to fall and he curled up on the rock where he cried himself to sleep. Up in a tree, overlooking the pond and the sad 6-year-old boy, was an orange snake with black bands and a collection of purple scales on top of its head. Its golden eyes softened and the slit pupil expanded. A lone tear mad its way down from its left eye. Single quote. So young, too young and innocent to have to know this kind of pain. The snake had been watching this village for 3 years now and marveled that this small boy, with almost no one to lean on, stand the physical and psychological torture these villagers had put him through. She had lived long enough to see battle-hardened warriors, mistreated slaves, and tortured prisoners break and fall into madness and eventual suicide. But this boy, who radiated kindness and life, was put through so much and even when he thought he was alone, didn't say a word against his monstrous home. Then a thought struck her. Perhaps he could be the one to possess it, to redeem our people and, just maybe we can give him what he wishes for. Having a few moments to contemplate her idea and its chance of success, she made up her mind and poofed away, leaving no other evidence of her presence than a cloud of smoke. Deep in the lands of the summoned snake clan, a huge white snake lay curled on a huge limestone rock sitting on a grassy hill. His eyes were closed until he sensed a familiar presence. He raised his great horned head and looked below him to his left. The orange snake appeared and bowed her head to him. The giant white snake returned the bow. So, Yoruichi, to what do I owe this pleasant visit? The great serpent asked, cocking its head to one side. The orange snake now known as Yoruichi looked up at the white snake and spoke. Nakanda's-sama, I have important news. I believe I have found the one, Yoruichi said with a calm yet hopeful gaze. Nakanda's eyes widened a little. Then speak Yoruichi, I trust your judgment, but I must know your reasoning. For this single decision is one that could either save as well as destroy our clan, the one must be chosen with care. He said with a calm, yet eager voice. Of course Nakanda's-sama, she replied. She then told Nakanda's all she knew about Naruto and what he is, as well as how the village treats him. Nakanda's was amazed by this little human, and enraged with the actions of these people who seemed to be too stupid to tell a kunai from the scroll it's sealed into. He had long known about the sealing of the mighty fox from his communications with the Toad tribe. While Nanda may have been the Toad's enemy, those of the clan that supported Nakanda's were friendly with them in secret, and apologized every time they were forced to fight the Toads on Nanda's orders. Nakanda's was silent for a few moments and then opened his eyes and looked at Yoruichi with the look of a leader commanding his forces. I feel your analysis is correct, Yoruichi. His will seems unbreakable and his kind heart refused to be extinguished. I want you to speak with him and befriend him. Do not lie to him, but if he asks a question he would not be ready to hear the answer to, then say as much and tell him that we will answer those questions when he's older. Find out what it is he dreams of, what he aspires to become, and only if he wishes to pursue a career in the ninja ways will you offer him the new contract. If he wishes for another life, he sighs, we shall respect his wishes. I will not become like Nanda just to get RFR. Edom and I will not use him like Nanda and his vile summoner use each other and us. He speaks the last part with determination. The Snake Clan has gone too long using fear and deceit to gain our desires. If we are to be reborn, the clan must break from old evils. Yoruichi nods. It shall be done, my lord. She then disappears in a puff of smoke and Nakandas looks up to the heavens. Please, please let him be the one who is worthy. Quote, by the pond in the forest, Naruto still lays fast asleep while the sun slowly rises into the sky. He opens his eyes and sits up, rubbing sleep from his eyes. He looks around and his eyes water as he remembers why he is here. He yawns and stretches, while he thinks of things he can do for the day. Greetings, Naruto. A soft, kind voice says to him. Star. Chiled he looks around till he spots an orange snake coiled up next to him. His first instinct is to run, but when he looks into the snake's eyes and only sees kindness, a calm feeling overtakes him. He turns to the snake and sits down Indian style. He places his hands on his knees and curiously looks at the snake. Did you just say something? He asks, never looking away from the snake's calming eyes. Yes, that was me, Naruto-kun. I am Yoruichi, a snake summon. She says in a voice that Naruto finds to be feminine and extremely beautiful. Naruto thinks for a moment and crosses his arms over his chest. So, you're like one of those poof dogs. Yoruichi blinks and sweat drops at his statement and tilts her head to the side. What do you mean, Naruto-kun? What is a poof dog and why do you think I'm like one of them? Part of her feels slightly miffed that he compares her to a dog and the word poof doesn't add any endearing qualities about the name of whatever animal he's referring to. Well, when the man with the Inu Anbu mask watches me sometimes, he does these weird hand things and then poof, a little dog appears. He lets me play with the smallest one who likes it when I rub the pads on his paws. Naruto explained happily. Yoruichi thinks for a moment when realization hits her and she smiles as much as a snake can smile. Oh, I see, you mean he summons dogs. Naruto, at poof is just what happens when you summon something. The dogs are like me, but I am from the Snake Clan. Those hand things were probably hand signs, the way ninja mold their charka to perform jutsus. Because he signed a contract with the dog summons, he can call them to help him if he gets a drop of his blood and does those hand signs. Yoruichi says in a teacher-like manner. Naruto thinks for a few moments and nods as he understands most of it. So, if you have to summon creatures like that, who summoned you? Yoruichi shifts around in her spot as she relaxes a little. Well, no one. You see, Naruto-kun, sometimes summons can come and go on their own, but it takes a bit of chakra to do so. Now, before we take that topic any further, I would like to ask you some questions. Quote, Naruto nods for her to continue and she begins. Now, what is your dream? She asks seriously. I want to be a great ninja and someday Hokage. Naruto answers with a small smile. Yoruichi smiles too. Okay, at least he has the right profession for what I need to offer, but I better make sure of his reasons and seriousness. She thinks. She takes up an inquisitive pose. But Naruto, why would you want to work for a village that treats you so bad? She sees his look of surprise and decides to elaborate. I have been around this village for the past 3 years looking for something and I don't understand why you stay, let alone want to help them. Naruto's head hangs low, but then he raises it in determination. I want to prove to them that I belong here and that I will help them. I think. He looks pensive for a moment. I think that the people think I'm connected with the Kyuubi. Naruto states, half expecting Yoruichi to attack him or run from him. Instead she just looks puzzled at him. Inwardly she's surprised by how perceptive he is, but wants to see how much he knows. Why do you say that? Naruto looks up at her in mild surprise that she doesn't hate him. Well, I was born the D. I the fourth died defeating Kyuubi and I have these marks, he says touching the whisker marks on his cheek, and I kind of look like the fourth. So, I figure people see me and are reminded of everything they lost. Yoruichi is stunned by the boy's insight and reasoning, even if it isn't quite the truth, but it could be seen as a logical conclusion for someone who didn't know the truth. I see. Well, while your reasoning is fairly logical and heavy in the understanding of others, that doesn't excuse their behavior. But, I suppose that's something for a later discussion. She then looks him in the eye. Naruto-kun, you said you wanted to be a ninja, right? He nods. Well, I'm here to make you a deal. Naruto cocks his head to the side in confusion but nods again, waiting to hear her out. Naruto, I would like for you to sign the snake contract and become our summoner. She says in a polite tone. Naruto looks surprised. Why? Not to be disrespectful, but why would you offer this to me? I'm just a kid. Yoruichi nods in understanding. After all, he has never been given anything for free except by the Hokage. Naruto, let me tell you a small story about my clan. He nods and sits straight up. Naruto, for a long time now my clan is viewed as a bad or evil clan. We have a reputation for being cruel and causing pain for no reason other than our own enjoyment. She sighs sadly. This is not really who we are. Our clan's leader, the boss summons known as Nanda, and his summoner Orochimaru use us to do terrible things, and since Nanda's the boss and Orochimaru has signed the contract and has Nanda's approval, we are forced to obey. Recently, Nanda's cousin, Lord Nakanda's, has been gathering some of our clan members up in secret and all of us want Nanda and his summoner either gone or killed. So, he drew up a new summoning contract and we have been looking for a summoner ever since. However, we don't want a repeat of the past and wish our summoner to convey our true selves. We need someone who will do what is right and be loyal to his friends and precious people. I heard your wishes last night, Naruto. Naruto's eyes widen. I'm impressed. You didn't once curse the village that rightly deserved it and you wished only for things to make your life happy and complete. I told Lord Nakanda's of you and he has agreed that, if you wish to be a ninja, you may sign our contract and we will aid you and teach you to be strong. Our only request is that you stay a good person at heart and see to it Orochimaru is destroyed. He uses us as disposable soldiers and tools of death. He has done horrible things to us and his comrades for his own pleasures and wants. He betrayed this village, has ruined many lives and continues to do so. She took a moment to let this all sink in. He seemed to be deep in thought. Yoruichi waited for a few minutes and then asked again. So Naruto, will you do it? We will not pressure you into this. We will not be like Nanda and make Tragus demands like the human sacrifices he desires for his help. We wish to be an honorable clan again and speak freely with other clans without fear of Nanda's punishment. This is your choice, Naruto. She sits and awaits his answer, hoping. After nearly 15 minutes of thought, which is incredible for a 6-year-old, showing that he has maturity beyond his years, he looks Yoruichi dead in her golden eyes. I accept. Yoruichi smiles, and nods. She then waves her tail and a large white scroll poofs next to her. She unrolls it with her tail, showing it was filled with empty slots. Bite your thumb to draw blood and write your name with it. Then wet the hand you want to summon with your blood and press it at the bottom. Naruto obeys. When he is finished his blood glows golden on the page and remains as if written in golden ink. He looks at Yoruichi as the scroll puffs away and she smiles her serpent smile. Congratulations, it will be an honor to be your friend and summons, Master Naruto. Quote, it has been 7 years since that fateful day and Naruto had grown very strong in that time. He had purposely failed his first 2 genin exams because he wanted a team his age and he needed more time to learn from his summons. They had taught him a lot of things, among them were things like chakra control and other things the academy wouldn't teach. Mainly jutsus, most of which exclusive to snake summoners. They even helped him create some for himself or modify some from Orochimaru into less evil counterparts. He and Yoruichi had become very close in that time. She has a human form of a pretty, beautiful in Naruto's opinion, girl around his age. She had dark skin, purple hair tied into a long ponytail and golden eyes. She wears tight black shinobi pants, a blah. CK backless top that shows her beautiful curves with a golden snake in a spiral formation in front and a dark orange battle kimono top over it. She can remove her orange top for her more powerful moves that need flexibility and range of motion. On her feet are black ninja battle slippers and she has a white scarf around the lower half of her face. She stood at about 5 feet 10 inches and had a lean, muscular, but incredibly firm and feminine figure that, if and when other male shinobi, and a few females, see it, they would be driven mad with lust. She looks like this in private, minus the scarf on her face. But when in public she is in her snake form and wrapped around Naruto's neck. She became his constant companion when they exchanged some blood in an open cut they made in their hands. While in her snake form, she could do various attacks and be used as a weapon, scout, or tool. In her human form she was a goddess to him that could do nearly anything. Of course Naruto was still forced to act like a weak obnoxious idiot because it would make him less of a threat in the villagers' eyes and thus safer. Only drawing suspicion at first because he had Yoruichi draped around his neck, but with some acting on their part she was quickly written off as a victim to the boy's love for orange. But today would be different. This is the day he becomes a genin, the day he drops his mask and shows the world his strength, his true self. Naruto's true body is 5 feet 9 inches of pure muscle, his baby fat has all but disappeared though training, he has black hair with blonde streaks, and his eyes are now slitted. It was part of the contract and necessary for some of the hubby jutsu he learned during his training. He no longer wears his orange nightmare, instead he now wears black, heavily pocketed, ninja cargo pants with loops for scroll carrying. Kunai and shuriken holsters. This is secured around his waist with his snakeskin belt which he had made from shed snakeskin he'd gotten from Yoruichi. His shoes were armor-plated versions of Yoruichi's. And also black. He wore a dark green sleeveless muscle shirt and had his hands covered by fingerless gloves that reached just below the elbow, on the backs of the gloves was armor plating engraved with the symbol of a snake curled in the shape of the leaf symbol. His face was covered by a dark green face mask like Kakashi wears. He also wore black cloth over his slitted eyes since he long ago learned to see through vibrations, sound, and heat and chakra sensing. He could fight in total darkness if he had to, and had done so in some training. He also had several seals placed on his body. Some gravity and resistance seals for training purposes giving him incredible speed when released, a couple of storage seals for some of his personal belongings, scrolls, and most importantly his sword. The Kage Kusanagi. It was made specifically to be stronger than Orochimaru's sword and could theoretically destroy the cursed weapon. It was also designed with spec IAL seals to give the sword several abilities, much like Kiri's Shinobugatana Shichinin Shu 7 Ninja Swordsman. He kept it sealed because as Nakandas had said while training him, the wolf bares its fangs and is countered. But the viper hides his and strikes. Naruto walks into his classroom and immediately everyone who was talking turns silent, trying to recognize this strange kid. It takes nearly a full minute for Iruka, the only teacher who gives Naruto a chance to realize who he is. Naruto, is that you? Immediately after speaking the whole class erupts into murmurs of disbelief and looks of recognition. Naruto baka, what are you thinking? Dressing up and using henge won't make you any less of an idiot, you'll never be better than Sasuke-kun. Now take off the blindfold before you hurt someone and make yourself even more of a doby. Guess who _. Naruto slowly turns his head in her direction, unnerving her and the other students, and speaks. Shut up Haruno. This causes the class, even Sasuke, to look at him as if he's grown a second head and for Sakura to stare with her jaw on the floor miraculously at a loss for words for once. This is how I would normally dress. I wouldn't have had to behave like an idiot because of the villagers. I have decided to drop this charade, as it is of no more use to me. As for the blindfold, I have trained to fight without sight. And therefore don't need my eyes at a time like this. Here he pauses for a second. For potential ninjas, you all sure suck at looking underneath the obvious. What if I had been an enemy ninja? Posen. G is a complete fool to lower your guard and then kill you before you know what's happened to you. He said calmly. The class was dumbfounded, even Shikamaru was wide awake and surprised. Sasuke looked at the supposed doby, wide-eyed. Had he really fooled everyone? No, that was impossible, right? He couldn't have fooled him, he was an Uchiha. Sakura recovered first. Shut up Naruto baka. Stop, acting like you are better than the rest of us, you can't even do the Bunshin no jutsu. Sakura managed to screech out. Naruto sighed. Again Haruno, you prove your stupidity. A few eyebrows rose at that, and Sakura looked pissed off. Naruto turned his head to Ino. Yamanaka. Ino went rigid in her seat as his cloth-covered eyes looked at her. Why yes. Tell me, what are the jutsu Sasuke knows? Naruto asks as he crosses his arms. Sasuke looks curious as to why Naruto would ask about him. Ino looked equally confused, but nodded anyway and replied to his question. Well let's see. There's the Bunshin, Kawarimi, Henge. And I think he knows some fire jutsus. Naruto nodded at that, then he looked back at Sakura. If I wanted to kill Sasuke, I would just have to use an earth jutsu to level all the trees and bury all objects around us to stop him from using the Kawarimi. Then I could use another jutsu called Earth Encampment Wall, to raise 3 large slabs of earth around him to block his escape and then use Suiden Teppadama, making any fire jutsu useless, resulting in his death. The class was stunned once again and Sasuke was pissed. Naruto continued, you see Haruno, Sasuke's fangirls can tell anyone what they want to know about him and then plan to counter his skills. I on the other hand, made it look like I have no skills. So no one knows what I'm capable of. It's true I can't use the Bunshin no jutsu. But that's because I have a condition where my chakra is denser and larger in quantity than that of a regular ninja. Because of that my chakra control goes out window and I can't use little enough for the Bunshin. However, I can make any type of elemental clone, including shadow clones. Iruka and his assistant Mizuki were doubtful, and as if he was reading their minds. He snapped his fingers and 4 shadow clones poofed into existence, walked over to the window, opened it, and disappeared. Silence in the classroom followed. Now, Naruto spoke again. I would like to take this exam and go home, so let's hurry up, shall we? He then walked up to the back row, sat down, and crossed his arms, waiting for the exams to begin. After a little while a recovered Iruka finally spoke. Alright then, let's get these exams started. He looked at his list of students. Choji Akamaiki, you're up first. And so the exams passed. Some graduated, others failed. Naturally Naruto passed, much to Mizuki's hidden ire. After Iruka told everyone to be back the next day to receive their teams and Chunin instructors, he went back to his apartment. Once he arrived, he locked the door before activating the silencing and blinding seals he had placed everywhere in his home so no one could see or hear what was inside. All anyone would see would be a rundown apartment with covered windows. Naruto went into his bedroom, placed his leaf headband and his blindfold on his nightstand, and sat down on his bed. A moment later, the weight around his neck where YORUICHI always stayed disappeared and 2 slender, delicate arms wrapped around his chest and held his back against YORUICHI's soft assets. Naruto-kun, don't you think that you might have gone a little too far? I mean sure Haruno is a joke of a ninja, but you pretty much verbally backhanded her. Despite YORUICHI's words, she was smiling and Naruto knew it. She had hated it when Naruto would allow Haruno to hit him to keep up his mask. She also remembered how he always shielded her from harm while she was wrapped around his neck. I know, but now that I'm strong enough to take on anything Elo Cage I refuse to play the idiot any longer, nor will I chance being put on a team of weak fools that don't realize the harsh truths of the ninja world. He said as he turned his head to YORUICHI, he then lifted his left hand, cupped her face and drew her close for a long, passionate kiss. He and YORUICHI had indeed grown close these years and were lovers in all but the act itself. They wanted to wait for a time when they could relax and truly be together without concerns. Naruto had asked Nakandas about it and Nakandas had given them his blessing to be together and informed him that if they mated, she could conceive a child. As long as she remained in human form during her pregnancy. This made Naruto blush but he nodded. Nakandas also told him that this was how Orochimaru was conceived by the manipulations of Nanda. He wanted a cruel and snake-like summoner, and he obviously succeeded. When they finally broke the kiss, Naruto moved his arms around Yoruichi and moved her into a sitting position on his lap. She laid her head on his right shoulder and he ran his right hand through her long, purple, silky hair after undoing her ponytail. She sighed in happiness. He was handsome, strong, smart, kind, gentle. And all hers, for now. 2 years ago, she had, on orders from Nakandas, told Naruto who his father and mother were and about the fox sealed in him. He was pissed. It took a whole day of destroying several training grounds before he calmed down. Then he cried on Yoruichi's shoulder and she cried with him for his pain. After several weeks and lots of long talks, he finally forgave his father and vowed to make his parents proud. After learning that both the Namikaze and Uzumaki were famous clans, he decided to combine them into the Namikaze-Uzumaki clan. This means that, when his identity is finally revealed, he would be forced to follow the Clan Restoration Act and have multiple wives to ensure the clan's survival. He had discussed it with Yoruichi, who told him that she already knew about it and didn't mind, but only if they both approved of the females in question. They spent the night like that, just holding and petting each other, only getting up for a quick dinner of fried rice with beef. When they decided it was time to head in, they changed into their sleepwear. Yoruichi, who always slept in a large t-shirt and gray sweat shorts, snuggled next to Naruto, who slept in only boxers. They wrapped their arms around each other and slowly began to drift off to sleep, comforted by each other's warmth. Yoruichi looked up at Naruto as his eyes drooped. "I love you, Snake Charmer," she said with loving affection. He looked at her and smiled his foxy smile with his slitted eyes showing his love for her. "I love you too, my hubby Haim." Then he kissed her last time before they both fell into a blissful sleep, each with a gentle smile on their face. When Naruto awoke, he found Yoruichi laying her head on his left shoulder, while her hand resting on his chest. He smiled and took her hand in his right hand, squeezed it gently, and leant over to kiss her gently on the lips. Her eyes fluttered open and she saw she was being kissed by her man and smiled as she returned it. When they parted, they were both slightly breathless. "I love waking up like that," Yoruichi said when they parted with a seductive voice and a serpentine grin. Naruto smiled. "I live to please, my hubby Haim." "Damn straight you do," she said with a smirk, to which he answered by kissing her again. After that they both got up and went to the shower. They may not be ready for sex yet, but that doesn't mean they didn't enjoy looking at each other's bodies, let alone the occasional groping. When they exited the shower, light blushes on their smiling faces, they went back to the bedroom and got dressed. Once they were both dressed in their usual attire, they ate a light breakfast of cereal and toast as they spoke of what to do that day and who Naruto's Chunin sensei could be. Naruto smiled evilly and Yoruichi returned it. Whoever it was about to get one hell of a surprise. Chapter 2. As Naruto and Yoruichi, in her snake from around Naruto's neck, were heading towards the academy, Naruto sighed. Today was the day, the start of his life as a ninja. He raised his hand and touched his new eye plate. On the way home the night before, he'd used a special metal bending jutsu and reformed the headband to fit over his eyes and the top of his nose. He'd engraved 2 coiled snakes facing the leaf symbol on it. While reforming the plate of the headband he'd been reminded of why he wore blindfolds. "Remember Naruto, a snake must be completely at ease when fighting blind, as our speed makes it hard to see, and, when lying in wait, you can't always see your prey, or predator. Also, now that your eyes have slits like a snake, it would do well not to show them. The ignorant in the village already view you as a demon. If you start to resemble Orochimaru, they will be all the more adamant in trying to kill you." Then Nakandas paused, and chuckled. "Plus, it may be funny to see the looks on an enemy's face when you get serious and remove your blindfold. I know it imits you so you can't use more of our hypnotic and fear-based jutsu, but those are signature moves of our clan. Use them if you absolutely need to, but wait until you are stronger to use them freely." That had been Nakanda's warning and wisdom years ago when he'd altered Naruto's eyes. Naruto had experimented in secret with a few animals and found that, if they were weak enough, he could scare them to death. So, Naruto put up a genjutsu over his eyes to make them normal while he wore the blindfold. It was just part of the act. Now though, he was unleashed from his restrictions. Yoruichi Ed her serpentine smile as she looked at Naruto. He was finally being himself in public. As Naruto made it to the academy, he stopped just outside the door. He lowered his head a little. "Ready, hubby Heim?" he asked with a smile. Yoruichi, in snake form still, smiled her snake smile. "Always, snake charmer." Quote. Then, Naruto opened the door, and entered. The room went silent. They were all still stunned at this new, true, Naruto. Sakura wisely, for once, kept her mouth shut. Miracles do happen. Sasuke eyed Naruto with his usual bored glare, but there was a hint of inquisition in his eyes. Yon else just looked at him and kept quiet. Hinata looked worried and Kiba, noticing, put his arm around his longtime friend. Naruto acts the same in those years, but never lets anyone see him train. So Hinata never saw him train the first time or followed him and started stalking him. For Naru Hinata fans, sorry, he'll be paired with older women and another bleach girl. But at least I gave her a non-pervert Kiba. As Naruto sat in the back row, he crossed his arms and waited. Everything went about as expected. The Ino-Shika-Cho group lives again. Kiba, Hinata, and Shino are a tracking team, and the Uchiha, Haruno, and some pale creepy guy obsessed with referring to male genitalia were the assault group. After Iruka finished with everyone else, Sakura noticed something and voiced her opinion. "Iruka-sensei." He looked at her. "Yes Sakura. What about Naruto I mean, Naruto. He's the only one left and he doesn't have a team." She asked. "I was getting to that Sakura." Iruka said with sigh. "Naruto is being placed with a Chunin alone. Like you and your sensei. His have specific qualities that will help him grow and make a good team, even if it is just a two-man cell." Iruka explained. Then, as he was about to ready off the name, a black ball crashes through the window. It unrolls and Kanai stick it to the wall to show a huge banner that reads, "The Great and Sexy, Anko Mitarashi." The class was stunned. The women half was stunned at the entrance and daring of her mostly fishnet clothing, while the male half were either out with nosebleeds, drooling, or having a mental shutdown. Iruka's sweat dropped and coughed. "Anko, you're early." She blushed and sweat dropped before standing up straight with her right hand scratching behind her head as she smiled weakly. Oops. Half the class fell down. While Naruto and Yoruichi smirked. Iruka sighed. It was just one of those days. "Naruto, your sensei is Anko." Naruto nodded and walked up to Anko. "I hope to meet your expectations and your approval." "Anko-sensei," Naruto said with a bow. Anko smirked. "We'll see. Now, let's go," she yelled as she leapt out the window. Naruto tilted his head to the side and shrugged. He then leapt after her. Everyone could only think one thing. What kind of team are they gonna be? Quote, Anko lead Naruto to the forest of death. Once there, she took him to the tower and up to the fighting ring with the giant hands in a hand sign pose. She waited for Naruto to join her in the middle of the ring and lunged at him. She tackled him to the ground and hugged him like a boa hugs a mouse. "Naru-kun, we did it. Ha, we're on the same team." She cooed. Yes, Anko-chan. "I know, I'm glad too," he said as he sat up and moved her to sit on his lap. Anko smirked and then pulled Naruto's face to her and kissed him deeply. Naruto smiled into the kiss as he remembered when he'd first met the snake mistress. Flashback. It was a warm night 2 years ago and Naruto, having dropped his disguise for training and going out tonight, was leaping from rooftop to rooftop, looking for a good place to practice. Yoruichi was back at home. She'd been exhausted after training the day before and decided to take a day or two to rest. As Naruto was about to leap to another roof, he heard faint grunts and sounds of pain. He looked down into an alley and says something that made his blood boil. There were 6 men at the alley's entrance, blocking it off, and they appeared to be Chunin. Further in the alley were 2 women, one with wine-red eyes and another with short purple hair. Naruto listened in as the men approached. He noticed the women looked like ninja, but seemed off. Well, look here boys, it's the 2 hottest and most elusive pieces of ass in all of the Leaf Village. They all snickered. "Oh, what's wrong? Feeling dizzy? Well, the drugs I slipped into your sake and dango will do that I suppose. Don't worry, we'll make you feel better." The man had a sick expressio on his face as he and his friends came closer. Naruto saw the two women were weakened and couldn't fight back. He'd seen enough. He jumped down between the two. He was nearly as tall as the women, due to his growth spurt. And looked at the men with his blindfold-covered eyes. I cannot allow you to defile pure leaf maidens like this, vermin. The young man said. The men were surprised and annoyed. Anko and Kurenai were surprised. And flattered. They blushed at his proclamation. What pure maidens? All I see is sex meat in bandages and fishnet wrappings. Now go away, boy, or we will hurt you. The man yelled. Naruto shook his head and removed his blindfold. His eyes were closed as he lifted his head back up. Then, without a second to spare, his eyes flashed open, and the three Chunin fell to their knees. The two kunoichi were surprised at this. Who is this guy? Quote, Naruto had activated his eye jutsu called Snake's Den, Fear Gaze. It made whomever it caught, in a similar genjutsu like Tsukuyomi. Except you were in a snake's underground den with a giant blue-eyed snake and your worst fears were gathering around the serpent and marching towards you. The men were so terrified that they couldn't even scream. Finally, when Naruto released the genjutsu, they fell down unconscious. Naruto turned to the woman and gasped. His eyes were slitted, but cerulean blue. They vaguely reminded one of Orochimaru. But where the snake Sanin's eyes held cold hunger, this guy's eyes held warmth and comfort. You are safe now, Naruto said as he waked towards them. Who are you? Kurenai asked. Naruto thought for a second. I am the snake hidden in the leaves. He then made two shadow clones that picked up the two women and took them to the hospital to get checked out. Once they were dropped off, Naruto's clones dispelled and Naruto continued on his was. Meanwhile, Anko and Kurenai were talking about this strange young man. Anko vowed to find him and either thank him, or test his skills. After almost a week she found him while he was in the forest of death. She came upon him as he summoned a snake as big as Nanda. Anko was ready. If this guy had the snake contract then, Orochimaru was involved. She listened in on the young man and the snake. Nakanda's-sama, the man said. Nakanda's. Anko had never heard of him before. Hello Naruto. The huge summon said. Another shocker for Anko. Hers and Kurenai's savior was the Kyuubi container. So, Nakanda's-sama, what will I be learning tonight? Naruto asked. Tonight, I will teach you, armored scale skin, and grass growth. These will offer protection and hide you from enemies. Then, after you have mastered these jutsu, I will teach you how to wield the Kage Kusanagi. You must be proficient in it to stand a chance at killing Orochimaru. The huge summons said. Anko was shocked. They want to kill Orochimaru. But why would a snake summons want to kill their contract holder? Anko thought. I understand Nakanda's-sama. Don't worry. As soon as I am strong enough, I will kill the traitorous snake bastard and his tyrant worm Nanda. I will free you and the rest of your clan so that the snake contract will come back to the Hidden Leaf Village and be a respected clan once more, Naruto said with certainty. Nakanda smiled his serpent smile. Thank you, Naruto. Anko didn't know what to think. The snake summons hated Orochimaru and Nanda. They wanted to come back and be a respected clan again. Was this real? She decided to test it. She walked out towards them. Good to see you again, pure maiden. Naruto saw it as he turned his blindfold-covered eyes to Anko. She blushed. Damn, he sounds so hot when he talks like that, she thought as she approached. Chapter 3. Hey Naruto, she said with a grin she hoped was convincing. She looked up at Nakanda's. Wow, big white snake you have. There. She felt like she was looking at a copy of Nanda, but with different coloring and kinder eyes. Well, thank you, but I'm surprised you haven't commented on Nakanda's-sama, Naruto said with a smile. Anko went through several shades of red as she looked at him and blushed, realizing how her last statement had been interpreted. That's not what I was talking about, she said with clenched fists. Nakanda's laughed and Naruto smirked. I know, but you were so tense. If we're going to talk, I would like for us to be comfortable. I assume you heard everything while you were hiding back there. Naruto, without moving his head, pointed to the exact spot she had been. She let her head fall in shame for being detected. She raised her head and smiled sheepishly as she looked at him. Oh, sorry about that. Naruto chuckled. It's fine. Now, what did you wish to know? Also, what is your name? I could continue to call you Pure Flower. But I would like to get to know you better than a title. Anko blushed again. She seemed to be doing that a lot around Naruto. Well, I'm Anko Mitarashi. I wanted to thank you for before when you helped my friend Kurenai and me. I'd also like to know what's this about Nanda and Orochimaru and you killing them. Naruto looked thoughtful. He was still trying to mock up his mind when a female voice was heard. I think we can trust her, Naruto-kun. Anko looked around for the owner of that voice. It seemed to come from behind Naruto, but there was no one there. Then she saw it. An orange snake slithered out from around Naruto's neck. It slithered down to the ground and moved away from Naruto. When it was a few feet away from him, a big cloud of smoke poofed into existence. When the cloud disappeared, there stood a girl Naruto's height and age standing next to him with her arms crossed under her fairly developed breasts. Anko thought she was pretty cute, and the fact that she had a grin that matched the one she usually wore helped out with her instantly liking the dark-skinned girl. Naruto looked at her. You think so, Yoruichi? Naruto asked. She walked over to him, swaying her hips in a way Anko understood and that had Naruto, with his sightless vision, rooted to the spot he was on, and wrapped her arms around him from behind, pressing her nice-sized breasts into his back. She smiled a sweet smile. Yes, I do. I told you I've watched this village for some time and I know she hates Orochimaru as much as you and the rest of the Snake Clan does. She was his student, and he left her like trash after putting a curse seal on her. And because of that, the villagers treat her similar to how they treat you. She also wears the mask of a sex-crazed, blood-obsessed psycho. To keep people from hurting her again, she only allows Kurenai and the old man to see her real self. Yoruichi said as she looked at Anko. Anko was stunned. This snake girl person had just nailed her entire profile on the head. She didn't think anyone would know that much about her. Naruto looked down for a moment, and then reached up and took off his blindfold. He looked Anko in the eyes. Anko gasped. She could see it, as plain as day. She saw his pain, his loneliness, and his fear of being hurt by anyone who approached him. She'd eyes like that every time she'd looked into a mirror. Behind both their masks, they were the same fragile, broken, lonely people that had wanted nothing more than one simple thing to hold onto in their lives. Naruto saw much the same in Anko's eyes. As much as his blind sight skills would allow him to see, Naruto still found that the real way to know someone was to loom into their eyes. That was another reason why he'd wanted to wear his blindfold on top of training reasons. He didn't want anyone to see the workings of his soul or his pain. Naruto walked over to Anko and placed his hand on her shoulder. I would like to tell you some things, Anko-chan. If you'll listen, Naruto asked hesitantly. Anko nodded and they both sat down on the ground as Naruto took a breath and started to explain. He told her everything he knew about himself. About why he was training to kill Orochimaru and why he wanted to be a ninja. Without realizing it, after Naruto was done, Anko started to tell Naruto everything about her. Her past, her old sensei, her friends, how hard it was to be betrayed and how the village treated her. By the end, both had silent tears running down their faces and Anko sobbed a little. Naruto opened his arms and she dove in. He held her and let her cry, much as Yoruichi had for him a while ago. Yoruichi looked on and smiled. Sure, she was a little jealous that another woman was hugging Naruto. But she knew that it would eventually happen, and she was glad it was someone who shared his pain. Yoruichi had a stray thought then. Maybe Anko could be one of Naruto's. She let that thought go. And decided to wait and see how they would get along before going any further. Nakonda smiled down at the two humans. He knew of Anko since she was the only other snake summoner of the old contract besides Orochimaru. He wished he could have met her before now, but she never summoned the larger summons for fear of accidentally summoning Nanda. He silently poofed away and let them be until he was called again. That evening, Naruto and Anko talked more and became friends. Naruto introduced Anko to Yoruichi and they hit it off very well. Well enough to make Naruto nervous when they both gave him the same sweet, mischievous smile. Oh another Yoruichi, with kunai. Naruto mentally wailed as he sweated. From then on, For the next couple of years, Naruto and Anko would hang out a few times a week. When she didn't have missions, and just have fun. Yoruichi explained that, because of certain gifts for being the new contract summoner, Naruto would have a nearly adult body by 13 and stay like that for a good while. She also let it slip about Naruto's parents and the eventual Clan Restoration Act requirements. Anko licked her lips at the thought. She and Yoruichi confronted Naruto and asked him what he thought about Anko being his wife someday. Naruto weighed the thoughts in his head. Anko was hot, kind, beautiful, skilled, strong, affectionate, loyal, and knew his pain. She was a LSO sadistic and crazy as hell sometimes. But he could live with that, he hoped. Plus, Yoruichi had fun with Anko, and they got along like sisters, which Naruto could almost swear they were at times. So, he smiled and nodded and got down on one knee, as he had done with Yoruichi, and took Anko's hand. Anko Haim, I don't have a ring yet, and I haven't gotten my family name back either, but if you could find it in your heart, would you marry me? Naruto asked as his deep, blue, uncovered eyes looked into her light purple ones. Anko was touched. Except for Naruto, no one ever treated her like a lady and still respected her as an equal. She smiled as a small tear made its way down from her left eye. Yes, Naru-kun, I would love to. Naruto let out a smile that looked like it would split his face in half. He stood and reached up to cup Anko's face. He gently pulled her forward and just before their lips met, he looked at her. I love you, Anko Haim, thank you. He then kissed her. It was soft, slow, and filled with all the passion one could squeeze into that tiny amount of contact. Anko was in a haze of love, lust, and a tingling feeling that felt unbelievable. She knew Naruto was pouring a small amount of chakra into the kiss and he was directing it to every pleasure nerve in her skin. When the kiss broke, Naruto and Anko looked at each other with goofy grins on their faces. Ah, Yoruichi said as she made her presence known. Anko and Naruto looked over at her as she walked over to them and smirked. My turn, she said as she wrapped her arms around Anko's neck and pulled her into a deep, passionate, tongue-filled kiss. They moaned into each other's mouths as the kiss lasted for a few minutes. When they parted, a slight bridge of saliva disappearing between their warm mouths. They looked over to see Naruto, out cold with a huge river of blood rushing down from his nose. Anko chuckled. I guess we were too much for him, huh Yoru-chan? Anko said with a sly smile. Yoruichi smirked back. He'll get used to it, eventually. We'll just have to do it more often to build up his immunity, to a point. Anko laughed. Oh, I think this is going to be one hell of a family Yoru-chan. Yoruichi smiled. You bet. Anko-chan. Naruto, still knocked out, had visions of naked snake women dancing around in his head. His only conscious thought was, Kami, thank you. Quote, flashback end. As Naruto and Anko continued to kiss on the arena floor, Yoruichi had already changed back and put her arms around Naruto's neck and leaned into his back. Settle down you two, we can pick this up at home, later. She said in a sensuous voice as she licked Naruto's ear in a way that made both him and Anko shudder in delight. Since Anko had agreed to being with Naruto and Yoruichi, they had moved in together at Anko's, in secret. And shared the same bed when Anko wasn't on missions. The three of them were all virgins and wanted to keep it that way, until they could relax and enjoy it, or their wedding night, whichever came first. Anko stood up and Naruto soon followed with Yoruichi still on his back. Alright Naru-kun, we're staying here tonight and tomorrow, the training begins. Don't think I'll go easy on you just cause you're my man now. Anko said with a smirk. Naruto and Yoruichi returned the smirk. I wouldn't expect anything less, Anko-sensei. Then the three let out a chilling laugh. In his office, the old Hokage suddenly got a chill running down his spine. I get the feeling my life is about to get more troublesome. Quote, two male Naras sneezed and the old man tried to calm his nerves with his little orange book. Hi, listen, I'm taking suggestions for harem members. I need the character and the reason she would be good for the harem. I don't really know how to do polls yet, so just write your nominations in your reviews and thanks for the great feedback. Next chapter, Sasuke should he be good or evil? And Going to add a poll for the harem, it's going to pretty big, like 5 to 12 girls. Also for Shinigami Wizard Hollow Froms, he will be one of them. Also going to bring back the Espada and their Frashin, and they're going to be dead loyal to Naruto no matter what. Is going to be why you ask? Well, because they're all badass. Naruto will have a Zanpakuto, and this best part is I am going to let you decide how it looks, how long it will take for him to learn both Shikai and Banki. What type it is, and if you don't know what I mean about that is then go to Bleach Wiki and look up Zanpakuto, but know that the Kyuubi who will be a woman is going to be his SWO. Road Spirit just PM me about the Zanpakuto Daedalus. I will choose the one I like the best. Naruto will learn kinda all of them. AN1. To all that like Snake in the Leaves, and for the one who hate it, fuck oh. FF no wait, even better, bring it on. I will use the flames to cook Anko some dangos and Naruto ramen. So some notes: Harabel and Kurenai are in the harem. There will be a female Gaara aka Gaia, and Haku. Naruto Zanpakuto will be a Nodashi, which he will get after I finish my next chapter, but won't have Shiki until the wave mission. How he will get it he I, LL let you gos here a hint it inflows. Protecting the people he cares for and loves. Naruto Zanpakuto is called Okuresaru Kami Umi Arashi. In English it is Enraged Divine Sea Storm. The hilt is 32 centimeters with a dark blue wrapping. The blade is 145 centimeters long and pale blue, with the non-cutting edge having a wave and sky blue lightning-like design on Zanpakuto. Give Naruto control over wind, water and lightning. He can call up storms of different kinds. Thunder and lightning control and mastery. He will be able to summon up winds that make Temari's winds look like a breeze. He will start to learn Kido spells soon. Also PM if UT. Hink the harem woman should get Zanpakutos and learn Kido spells too. About the woman, most will still act the same, just a little passive of Naruto even among each other. Snice, they will want their Naruto time. Anko will still act the same for the most part, she will just be a little nicer to others. Kurenai will be passive, as will all of the harem members, in the terms of other women checking Naruto out when they're together. Yoruichi will begin acting like she do like in the anime with teasing. Harabel will show a little more emotions, but not much unless she's around Naruto. I am going to replace most of the Espada with OCs here, as the people staying are being replaced. Espada 0 and 10 is gone, going to make a OC for those spot. Espada 1 is staying. Espada 2 is gone, OC replacement. Espada 3 is staying. Espada 4 is staying but as a female version. Espada 5 is staying but changing personality. Espada 6 is staying but as a female version. Espada 7 is gone, OC replacement. Espada 8 is gone, OC replacement. Espada 9 is staying. I might add more to this, you never know. I promise to have the next chapter up soon as possible. BONUES content characters. Going to add Taylai, Liara, Miranda and Jack from the Mass Effect T-Series. Why? Because I love all of them. Will be seen and see me important to the will be up you if any join Naruto's harem, at least for no, I just might end up adding one of them anyways. AN2. I am a guy if any of you are wondering. To everyone, I have not giving up on this story, but I won't have anything new uploaded in the next few days. Snice, I had planned on to. I will be getting Sergi on my NKLE and will be out for the goddess, won't know how long. Going to add poll for woman form Naruto world for his harem later. Taking on some challenge for my story, so send them in and I will try my best. Shish. Old, I put in filler and funny chapters, it's your choice. Miranda and Jack, which one should I add to his harem since they're the two most human? 1. I worship goddess of the old myths, the main ones being Artemis, Aphrodite, Athena, and Gaia from the Greeks, Amaterasu and Aim no Uzume no Makoto from the Japanese, Isis and Bastet from the Egyptian, and the Valkyrie from the Norse. Well, that all until next time. Harem update. Harem so far from Bleach, there is Harabel and Yoruichi are already in. There is 3 spots left for the Bleach woman, so get those votes in. The one I am adding are Neliel, note she will not have to deal with the becoming a child thing. Sun, Mila Rose and Apache, they are one whole spot. Retsu Unohana, the sexy Shinigami healer, there will be time when Tsunade won't be able to heal. Al Naruto and the other, like when she is low on chakra, hurt badly. Inc. Kukaku Shiba, the busty fireworks master, I wonder where she pull out all the fireworks from. Hehe, I am such a PREVART. I was goy. To add soy fong, but with Yoruichi being around her it would just be too much work to change how she acts. The poll is closed for the woman from Naruto's world. From Naruto world we have Anko and Kurenai are already in. Adding Samui and Karui in is a request and challenge from 2 unnamed is not taking up on of the spots. The one I am adding are. I might add a few others later on. Kushina, Yago Uzumaki chest. Tsunade and Shizune, yes people, she is in the busty Hokage MILF and so is her helper is in Naruto is so lucky. Hana and Yugo, you can't have Anko and Kurenai in without the others snice they hell. P saved his life by acting like Anbu, their one spot. Sum and Makoto, go MILF power hehe, their one spot. Tayuya, the succubus, yes people, I said it is going to come from Tayuya, a clan of succubus. Female Gara aka Gaia, Fu. Yugito ni, they're like Naruto so they need some loving. Contracts and Shoken's royalty beta read. Beta read by Elemental Master 16. I add a poll on my profile for the harem members. So just vote for the ones that you want in the SAS. Gay will be evil really like tier. Harabelle, she is going to be in the harem and so will Kurenai because I hate Kurenai and Asuma as a pairing. I hate Asuma somewhat just for the fact that him and Kurenai got together and got married in the anime and manga. I mean, what kind of woman would go out with a smoker, let alone fuck them and get pregnant with their child? I mean, come on, if he didn't die from being a ninja then the lung cancer would have done him in, plus the second-hand smoke would have bad for a baby to be around. There will be Asuma bashing, so take that. Asuma, evil laugh. Forgive me if you're the type of person that like that in a person. I am not trying to come off as a person who completely hates smokers, it's just pisses me off to end. And that Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, had put those two together, it up there with fangirls and yaoi. Naruto contract is not a part of the snake fags as his own, so the snake fag will not know that Naruto can summon snakes yet. Anko will sign Naruto's snake contract later on and help train him. Naruto's Kage Kusanagi will only be used on Orochimaru only. Naruto will use his Zanpakuto ONL. Why on people he think will be a challenge, much like Ulquiorra not using his sword most of the time, using hand-to-hand combat or ninja tools, and jutsu. The Asabda will help teach Naruto. Nanda knows most snakes hate him but are too scared to rebel since he has most high-powered snakes on his side. Most snakes are and will stay and be loyal to Nanda and Orochimaru. The ones that hate them is Sid. With there are some that are too afraid to rebel. Thought speech and pissed of Naruto. Naruto, it's so big, Shiva said. Yelling and very pissed of Naruto speech. Naruto, it's so big, Shiva said. Story speech. Naruto, it's so big, Shiva said. Story start now. Wake up Gaki, it's time to begin training. Anko said with a grin that would make Orochimaru proud. 5 more minutes Anko Heim. Naruto said, asked, if you get up no I will buy you all the ramen you want for the next month. She said. Naruto didn't need anything else to be said, he started running around the tower getting ready as fast as he could. You know Anko-chan, that was a dirty thing for you to say to get him up. You're not going to buy him ramen at all, are you? Yoruichi asked. He know he would eat up all my savings if I let him. Anko said back. You so cruel, you know that right? Yoruichi is in her human from, said with a grin. Yeah I know. Anko responded seductively before kissing her on the lips and pushing Yoruichi onto the bed and hopping on top of her. Naruto was in a great mood today. One, he had a badass but sexy sensei Anko Midarashi, and 2, aforementioned sensei promised to buy all the ramen he wanted for the next mouth. Stepping into the shower, he couldn't help but think about his conversion with Anko, about the night he saved her and Kurenai. Flashback no jutsu. Naruto-kun, you know Kurena. The other woman that you saved that night? Anko asked while resting her head on his chest. Yoruichi was asleep with her head on his shoulder, letting loose a small snore. Yes, what about her? He asked. I was wondering if I could tell her about us, you and the snakes. She's my best friend. One of the few people that didn't call me the snake whore or snake bitch, and ever since that night you saved us she has been looking for you. She is also beginning to see how different I act and knows something is up. Anko asked, hoping he would say yes. Sure, I see nothing wrong with it, but I must ask why. He questioned. I wanted to see if she would like to join your harem. She said back. I see nothing wrong with wait my what? Naruto screamed. He knew that he might have ended up having to go under The CRA, but he never thought that his Gigi would really do that and put him through it, let alone the civilian council. He must have told them, yet this is going to be so fun, Naruto thought to himself evilly. Your harem, since you're the last of the Uzumaki and Namikaze clans, you fall under the CRA, meaning you need to have more than one wife to rebuild said clans. The Hokage told me to tell you. When I was waiting to get you from the academy, Anko phrased like it was the simplest thing in the world. Why does my life have to be so hard? Naruto thought to himself while crying anime tears. Wait, I have never heard of the Uzumaki being a clan before, he asked confused. The Uzumaki were the ones who that put an end to the clan wars. They helped build Konohagakure no Sato. They owned the OT. Her half of the village that the Senju didn't, along with a country called Uzu no Kuni. And to answer how you're related to the Namikaze clan, it's because the Yondaime Hokage, as you know, is your father. Anko, one, said. Anko-chan, can you tell me what you know about the Uzumaki clan? He asked, hoping she knew at least little about his clan. Sure, and the Hokage said he would like to see you in the morning also, Anko responded happily. Flashback no jutsu kai. Who would have thought that I own half the village? I can't wait to see the villagers' faces when they find out they treated the son of the saint. Wrongest Hokage worse than the slaves of Iowa. Naruto laughed to himself while stepping out of the shower and toweling off. Naruto began to dress, putting on a pair of orange boxers, black mesh shirt, dark green jacket, black shinobi pants, shinobi sandals, and finally placing his headband over his eyes. Leaving the bathroom and walking back to the room he shared with Anko and Yoruichi, he saw that YORUICHI and Anko were waiting for him with the heavy scent of sex in the air and covering each other. You two didn't do what I think you did you? He asked. Maybe. You were in the shower or a long time, Anko-chan, and I just had little fun while we waited on you. Isn't that right, Anko-chan? Yoruichi said before slapping the older woman's ass. Naru-kun, if you didn't take so long you could have joined us, Anko said while kissing the younger woman on the lips. Hearing something hit the ground with a loud thump, they turned and saw that Naruto was passed out with a nosebleed. Why? Oh, you know it will be a while before Naruto wakes up, Anko said. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yoruichi asked. What a naughty girl you are, Yoruichi, Anko responded. But you like it when I am naughty, hehe, Yoruichi said. Yeah, I do, Anko said back before kissing her on the lips. Wait, Yo-chan, I have to tell Naru-kun something, Anko responded while walking over to Naruto. Anko whispered something into his ear, waking him with a scream, no, before passing out again. So Anko-chan, what did you say to him? Yoruichi asked. I lied about the ramen, Anko said between giggles. Anko, you have been a bad girl for lying. I think you need to be punished, Yoruichi said in a sultry voice. I would like that, Anko said happily before being kissed forcefully. With the old pervert, Sarutobi here. Uzen was having a good day. He got all of the day's paperwork done, and the new Ichi busty love that stared, a busty blonde with pigtails and a young blonde with ocean blue eyes, that seemed familiar to him. And like the pervert he is, didn't notice a blonde sitting in front of his desk shaking his head. Somewhere in the land of fire, Tsunade Senju was a happy woman. Why? Because she had just won the jackpot. OT at slots when she suddenly started to sneeze. Someone must be talking about me. It better not be that pervert, and I hope it's my Foxy-kun, Tsunade thought while her inner fangirl screamed and held you a sign that reads, Go Foxy-kun, I love you. Back to the Hokage. Gigi, should you really be reading the smut? What would your wife think if I told her? Naruto said while smirking. Naruto-kun, when did you come in? The Hokage asked nervously, not want his wife to find out. Ever since you started to giggle like a pervert, he said while looking at his Gigi, hoping that he didn't become a pervert like him. Unless my hymes are a part of it, he thought to himself while inwardly giggling like a pervert. Dismissing the Anbu and activating the seals in his office, Naruto-kun, I'm sure Anko too. LDU that you fell under the CRA and that you will have harem. What I'm about to tell you is a SSS class secret. Your father was. He started but stopped when Naruto raised his hand. Gigi, I know who. My parents are in the Kyuubi, but why didn't you tell me? He asked. Naruto-kun, you have to understand that you parents have many enemies. If I had told you in the village, you would have assassinations and all others searching for you. I didn't want you to be in danger, he said fearfully as he saw Naruto growing anger. He started seeing the outline of a snake as big as Nanda. You all should know what he looks like now. I would have been in danger, you say? Ever since my birth I have had people try to kill me every day until I became a genin. Do you know what it's like, all the beatings, haven't G to look through trash just to get to the next day? I still have all the scars from it, he said with his rage out of control. Scars I don't see, he said, both shocked and disappointed himself in the village. That because I use a powerful genjutsu that neither the Hyuga, Uchiha or even you can dispel or see, though that was taught to me by Hakucho Swan. Naruto said, getting his anger under wraps. Removing his jacket and mesh shirt, dispelling the genjutsu with a quick kai. The Hokage saw all the wound markings from his right shoulder to his left hip. Kyuubi no Yoki was craved into him. One of his arms looked like it was cut off and reattached. On his back was an image of the Kyuubi brand on him like a tattoo, but on his chest it looked like someone had shoved their hand full of lightning through his heart. And across all visible parts of him were scars that ranged tiny to medium in size and shape. Naruto, I hope that you can forgive this old fool for not to protecting you. It's just the civilian con. Hiruzen started but stopped when he saw the anger within Naruto was rising. Look Gigi, I don't hate you, but it will be a while before I can truly trust you, and fuck those civilians. You are the Hokage, they have to listen to you, not the other way around. What happened to the man that was one of the best Hokages this village has ever had since my father died? Civilians have been sucking all the power from you, turning you into nothing but a puppet. I mean, they have turned the Hokage title into nothing but a hyper paper pusher that has no real power, while hey just sit on their fat ass ordering you the Hokage around like a bitch. You need to man up and show them who the fuck is the real person in charge. The blonde Jinchuriki ranted, smashing his fist on the oak desk, cracking it a little. You're right, Naruto-kun. The old Hokage lowered his head down in shame. I have let those civilians take the power from me, but that will change starting now, Sarutobi said with fire in his eyes burning brightly. Come on Naruto-kun, it's time we tell them about your parents and heritage. Also, happy birthday. How about later tonight I take you out for all the ramen you want? He said with a happy grin. But inwardly already feeling his wallet getting lighter, the thought of taking Naruto out for all the ramen he could eat. Gigi, if you're lying to me, about the ramen, bad things are going to happen to you in your little book. Naruto threatened lightly. Hiruzen raised his hands in defeat to save his precious novel. Deactivating the seals and summoning Anbu, he told them to inform the council of an important meeting and they were needed now. Council chamber 10 minutes later. Sarutobi, what is so important you had the Anbu come get us? Danzo asked. That's Hokage-sama to you and everyone else. I have let you push me around far too much and it all stops here today, am I clear? The Hokage said while unleashing some ki. Hi Hokage-sama. Was their answer but one. Fuck you Sarutobi, we are in control here, not you, and you will do what we say, and I order you to kill that demon brat and snake whore now. Said a fat council man wearing a cheap black suit. Anbu, take this trash to Ibiki and tell him he's free to do whatever he wants for trying to order around the Hokage. Anyone else want to try and order me around, I dare you. Letting loose more ki. Good, now as you know, 13 years ago the Kyuubi attacked our village, but what you didn't know was also on that day his child was born. We got that out the way. The reason why I called you here is the Yondaime had a son and also a bloodline. The Hokage continued. Everyone was shocked, but none more than Danzo and his helpers. All the clan's head but one were not as shocked, since they suspected that he had a son. Makoto Uchiha was the only one not shocked, period, as she was there was when Naruto was born. The Yondaime had a son and a bloodline. Why didn't you tell us before? These is an important matter that should have been discussed after his death. A civilian said angrily, forgetting who he was talking to. You dare order me around like I am a common civilian. You forget who you are talking to. Be happy that I don't have you taken to be reacquainted with proper manners, the Hokage said, leaking ki to get his point across before calming his ki. Seeing as a few of the council passed out. Hokage-sama, why didn't you tell us until now? Kaharu asked. Because Minato-kun asked me not to, but in recent events I have no choice but to tell you, since Minato's son figured it out himself along with his bloodline. The old monkey summoner said. Hokage-sama, you said that the Yondaime-sama had a bloodline, why hasn't anyone witnessed it yet? Inoichi asked. The Hokage couldn't help but irk after hearing that. You have seen his bloodline at one point or another. Hiruzen responded while trying not to laugh at their confused faces. The tri-pronged kunai, it was a part of his bloodline and a part of his soul. That is the way his bloodline works. Every member of his clan would undergo a form of meditation in which they search the soul of the blade. From what I was told, every sword was different, and so were the abilities granted by them. Never has an ability been seen twice. But Hokage-sama, the Yondaime never carried around a sword, only the kunai. Care to explain that for us? Sum asked. Yes, I can, Sum-chan. You see, there were individuals so powerful that it was impossible for them to seal their Zanpakuto, so they were trapped in their released forms. The Hokage said. Hokage-sama, you keep talking about sealed and released forms, what are you talking about? Makoto asked. I am too lazy to explain it, so go look it up. Many on the council were shocked at what they had heard, and many started plans to get one of their daughters into marriage with the Yondaime's son, while Danzo, well, he was just being Danzo. Lol. Neko, go inform the Yondaime's legacy that he can enter now. The aged Hokage said with smirk. Hi Hokage-sama, Neko responded before leaving the room. 5 minutes later, Neko had yet to return. A second Anbu was summoned to retrieve the two people. Not a minute after the Anbu departed, he was thrown back into the room with an unhappy Naruto and Neko, who looked to be a little shaky in the legs. What do you old shits want? I was bus. Why, doing something important and very very pleasurable. Naruto said with his eyebrow twitching. What are you doing here, boy? Get out now, we are waiting for the Yondaime's son and we don't need them. I mean you here, one of the civilians said. Well, it's clear as day. Gigi asked Neko-chan here to come and get me, which led me to believe that I am the Yondaime's son. Naruto said with a bored tone, and for the 5 minutes there were sounds of outrage and hate coming from most of the council members. When Naruto walked in, they started yelling that the demon wasn't the Yondaime's son, or that he should be put in the Anbu assassination squads that had the lowest chances of survival. Getting a headache from all the yelling, the Hokage finally stopped them. Enough. Naruto is the son of the Yondaime. I was there along with Makoto, and if you don't believe me, here is the birth certificate signed by the Yondaime and Kushina Uzumaki aka Aki Suzume. 3. But what you don't know is that the Uzumaki own half of this village along with most of your shit. The Hokage said happily, causing the civilians to go into a frenzy again while screaming that the demon brat neither owned half of the leaf or could be the son of their hero. Enough, Naruto, the Yondaime's son, and he owns half of the leaf. If you got a problem with it, then you can leave now. Seeing no one exit, the Hokage continued where he left off. Zen revealed to every occupant of the room 4 large scrolls, the first being yellow, second orange, then brown, and finally white. These were the scrolls left behind by the Yondaime for his son. No. Minato-kun mastered the art Fuinjutsu. He put a seal on them so that only someone with his blood can open them. Naruto-kun, these rightfully belong to you. The Hokage said, handing them our favorite blonde hero. Thanks Gigi, but I'm not letting you off the hook that easily. Just give me your new Ichi and you will be one step closer to regaining my trust. Naruto 4 said with a grin. No, not my Icha please Naruto, anything else I beg of you, just don't take me baby from me. Hiruzen begged, hugging the orange book to his chest. Gigi, you're making a scene and I guess I will have to tell your wife. Naruto said with a serpent-like grin. Oh please don't tell her. Seeing the predatory smile Naruto sported, the aged Hokage knew he was defeated. Alright, take it, but please take good care of Ika. With tears flowing like a waterfall, Sarutobi handed over his new Ika signed by Jiraiya. A metaphorical black corner appeared around Hiruzen as he sulked and muttered on about giving up his book. Many of the council could only sweat drop at the childish behavior displayed by their leader. Sum, on the other hand, whipped a camera out from between his luscious bosom and snapped a few pictures, thinking of the perfect blackmail material for later. Ahem, Hokage-sama, Naruto-san, I believe we need to get back to the business at hand. Shibi said, sighing deeply. Still RNING for his loss. The Hokage agreed. You're right. Now Naruto, I need you to open the brown scroll first. Alright Gigi. Naruto said before safely putting his ICHA away in his kunai pouch seeing as it was empty at the moment. Naruto pumped his chakra into the seal on the scroll and with small plume of smoke two much smaller scrolls with the kanji for contracts and keys were in his hand. Gigi, what now? Naruto asked, not sure what to do next. Read the one that says contracts and you tell me, it was meant for your eyes only. The Hokage said. Okay then. Naruto responded while ending the scroll and lifting his headband out of the way but keeping his head angled so that no one saw the change to his eyes, and he began reading the contents. Dear Naruto, if you reading this, that must mean you're a genin now and that Hiruzen Sarutobi told you who I am. First off, I want you to know I love you with all my heart and that I never meant to hurt you in any way. Unfortunately, this is not the time for my apologies. Now Naruto, this scroll is different from the other because it's a marriage contract your mother and I wrote up for you. The first one was with the Yuhi clan head Shi. Nakuhime. 5. You are set to marry her daughter Kurenai whenever possible for the both of you. The next one is a little, how should I put it, different. You see Naruto, during my time as Hokage I have seen many thing. One such thing was a place called Outworld. Boy was it strange. Anyways, I had came across a humanoid race called Shoken. They're half dragon half human and are the enemies of the Centaurian, a race of beings whose bodies resemble hybrids of humans, horses, bulls, and what I was told by the leaders Queen Mai and King Gorbik that the race have been at war for so long that it was lost to history. Now Naruto, the Shoken have slowly been losing the war, and by the time you read this many will have been wiped out, so I made a deal with the king and queen. You are to be married to their daughter Prince SS Shiva on your 13th birthday. That being said, you should tell Gigi, because they will in the council chamber in 3, 2, as Naruto got done, a large portal on in the middle of the room, a single figure S stepped out, followed by a smaller one soon after that. The portal disappeared. Have fun, son, you're going to need it with the friends your mother had. Their children are going to be far worse. Haha. Sucks. Haha. To be. Haha. Your ass. Cammy, make it stop, it hurts, make it stop. Son, you're really going to need it. Ha 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 ha. Naruto read, his eyebrow twitching at the end. That seems to be happening a lot to him today. Who are you? State your name and reason being here. Neko asked, her sword ready to attack with her squad at the ready. My name human is Queen Mai and this is my daughter Princess Shiva. We are her for my daughter's fiancé. Queen Mai said. While as of this was going down, Naruto looked over the two women and judging by the way the taller of the two carried herself and the style of her armor, he knew she was Queen Mai. She was over at least 7 inches 5, maybe 7 inches 6, with a large X-shaped scar on her face, 4 arms, all of which were heavily scared as a monument to all the battles she's been in, and massive tits that put Tsunade to shame. One of which had looked to be a claw-like scars, think bigger version of Shiva and scared version of Shiva's Mortal Kombat Armageddon outfit on the one with the chins. So that made the other one Princess Shiva. She has her 2011 first outfit on, which left little to the imagination. Naruto couldn't help but look over the Shoken princess, her 7 inches feet even frame easy Lee dwarfing everyone in the room, her tan skin that looked so delicious good and muscled upper set of arms were folded under her breast, while her equally muscled under set were at her side but ready to fight if need. Her long shapely leg were toned to a great degree. Everything about her screamed, don't fuck with me or I will kill you. But the only thing that was on Naruto's mind was, goddamn T. Hey, have some nice sets of tits on them. I wonder if they are as soft as they look. Just one grab, that's it. Naruto thought, like he was pervert with drops of blood come from his nose with his hand, twitching with the need to grab the massive set of tits. I must remember to thank Yoruichi for turning me into a pervert. It's the best thing ever. Naruto thought while gazing at Shiva's massive tits on par with Tsunade's that didn't go unnoticed by Shiva, who pushed her breast out more as if asking her fiancé to grab them. It looks like my little kitsune fiancé is a pervert, but why am I not mad about it? Shiva thought to herself with a smirk, since she usually would beat the living hell out of anyone that looked to her like a sex object. It's like he is worshipping a goddess or some thingam. If he wants to treat Mai like a goddess, then I guess I can live with it for now. She thought to herself. Damn, she is so beautiful, the body of a goddess that I will love worshipping to mine. Come on Kami, she has got to have the best set of legs I have ever seen. Naruto thought to himself happily. And who is that? The aged Hokage, taking a battle stance, asked, breaking Naruto out of his perverted dreamland. That would be me. It seems father made a deal with my Sama here in exchange for marrying Shiva. They and all of their kind would be under the Namikaze protection and live on Namikaze land, am I right? Naruto asked. Yes, you're right, but will you honor your father's deal and marry my daughter and help my race? Queen Mai asked. All eyes turned to Naruto waiting for his replay. I will honor my father's deal and marry your daughter Mai-sama, Naruto said happily. Naruto-sama, you can't be serious, they're demons. They could be tricking you so they can release the Kyuubi, screamed a pink-haired man by the name of Kodama, 6 to 7, who was smacked on the back of his head by his wife Nico, 8, fair in the MILF with shoulder-length light pink hair, D-cup breast and heart-shape ass. And nice shapely legs. Damn Naruto, you need to get on that now. And the mother of Sakura, Farron Haruno, okay never mind, the heiress of the Haruno clan, and lighting, Farron, 9, Haruno, the heiress of the Farron clan and one of the best Anbu out there, on par with Yugo. What have I told you about yelling so loudish, said while glaring at him. Kodama, how are they demon, tell me I just she a gods. In the flesh whose body that I will enjoy exploring, and if I ever hear anyone call any of their race or any one of my wives like that again, I will kill them on the spot. Am I clear? Naruto said in a deathly flat voice while unleashing some ki. But Naruto-sama, I am trying to look out for you well-being. They should be demon looking to free the Kyuubi, I mean with their odd appearance and the just coming in here, you never know, Kodama said, trying to reason with the young him. Get even more upset, he quickly said. Hi Naruto-sama, forgive me Mai-sama, Shiva-sama, I was too judgmental of you. Just Minato was one of my close friend of mine's and asked me to care you if anything should have happened to him and your mother. Me and my wife would have been the ones to rise in the event of their deaths, but those, Kodama said, pointing at a few others, council's man, blocked me and my wife's attempts when we tried to adopt you. Kodama said. Is this true, Gigi? Naruto asked the aged Hokage. Yes Naruto-kun, it is indeed true. Almost every clan head except Fugaku Uchiha and Hiashi Huoiga, both for their own reasons, tried to help them and you, but by then I had allowed the council to have control, Sarutobi said. Damn those assholes, they always find a way to fuck me over. Maybe I should feed them to one of my snakes. Naruto mentally laughed as he imagined some of the council members are unning from his snakes only for a rock to appear put of nowhere, causing them to trip, giving the snakes enough time to catch the falling man, and slowly started to eat them feet first, all the while Naruto was watching with a bag of popcorn handy. Thank you Naruto-kun for defending my daughter and I, Queen Mai said, breaking Naruto out of his little world of pain, death and snakes devouring men. You are going to be my mother-in-law, so it better if I start getting on your good side now, Naruto said with a foxy grin. Then made Sume and Makoto just want fuck him. So true Naruto, Queen Mai said with a small chuckle at her possible son-in-law. Naruto-kun, what does rest of the contract say you're marrying? Sume said, not noticing the kun suffix added. Next you will be marrying to Yuya N. O Genkaku 10 of the Succubus clan. Your mother was the one with her friends Kurumu Kurono, the ruling queen of the Succubus clans. She will be the one to explain her marriage contracts. May Kami have Mekrai on your soul, you're going to need it. Why do I have a feeling that this is going to start off bad for me, Naruto thought to himself. Reading the next half of the scroll written by his mom. Hey Musik. Oh, son, I can't tell you how much I love you and how proud I am to say, my Naruto, you will be marrying to Yuya, the daughter of my childhood friend Kurumu, and I must warn you, when the last time I went and visited her daughter was around 7 years old and swearing more than most seasoned. If nothing goes wrong, then you will meet her around the time of the Chunin exam, so you got a long time to prepare or the most swearing you will ever hear in your life, and don't try to get her to stop. I saw the last time someone tried to stop her and didn't end well. I hope you have fun with your wife, Naruto-kun. Next you will be marrying Mai Terumi. It has always been a tradition for our two clan to have an alliance through marriage, and I know you're thinking that, then why didn't I marry one of them? It's because our home was destroyed before I could have a chance to see if I liked any of the man and woman, and yes, I am bisexual. All Uzumaki women are bisexual by nature. In order for us to find the one we want to spend our life getting back to the task at hand. I had set this up with Mei's mother when she was still pregnant, which was about 20 years ago by the time you read this. Terumi have a bloodline that allow them to create lava and steam release, so don't piss her off or you will have to say goodbye to Naruto Jr. Love you always, your mother. So Naruto-kun, who will you be marrying? Makoto asked. It appears that I will be marrying Shiva Haim, Kurenai, woman by the name Mei Terumi, and lastly to Yuya no Genkaku. She hails from a clan of succubus and Anko. Oops, did I say that last one out loud? Naruto scratched the back of his sheepishly, hoping no one caught his slip. Naruto-sama, that snake whore is a bad choice of a wife. It would be wise to find another person for your consideration. A random civilian said. What did you just say, asshole? I know I didn't just hear you call my Anko-chan snake whore, Naruto said, unleashing ki until the man passed out. I thought so, Naruto said to himself as he calmed down. Neko, go get Kurenai Yuhi, the Hokage ordered. Hi Hokage-sama, Neko said before shunshin the room. So seeing we're going to be here a while, I might as well get to know why. Oh, you my fiancé on better, Naruto thought so himself. Ends. Naruto has honored his father's deal, but will he not care about the Shoken, or will he use them as his own slaves, and we'll have to wait and find out. Naruto about to try and get to know his fiancé. Will they click or will they crash and burn? You will have to wait. Haha, suck for you guys. I am doing great. Know that I can walk around after the surg. It got hard to do things, but no, I feel great, thank the goddess. No, why yes, people, Shivas in the harem. Why, I have recently been reading some MK Naruto crossover and there hardly any Naruto XS Hiva, so I decide to add her to the harem so there will be no one from Mass Effect. Sorry for you ME fans. About Anko and Yoruichi, yes, they are sexually active with each other and not with Naruto even. Though they try to get him to join them, Yoruichi's womanhood is intact. They never use anything other than fingers, tongus, however you spell it, and a few snakes. Yes, that writes, they use snakes, the luck little fuckers. PM me or leave a review who should be the one to turn Naruto into a, can be any one of his girls or a group or whatever you want. I am going to use 6 girls from both the Bleach verse and Naruto's worlds, and they might not be the top 5 from each, so keep that in mind. I have closed the poll for Naruto's harem. Sorry about all the misspelling, but I fixed, and if there is anything misspelled I will fix it. Sorry about the Sasuke fight or anything like that, I will get one out as soon as I can. Naruto will start to try and get his Zanpakuto next chapter. Keyword try his not getting it until the wave arc. 1. Anko was trained by Kushina and asked her to tell Naruto about his Uzumaki heritage before she became unable to because she got too big and fat to do any real ninja things. Avoids flying frying pan followed by a drop kick from above. 2. Possible feelings for love for our blonde hero. 3. Red Sparrow. 4. Naruto will be a pervert, as in he will read Ichi and will spy on his woman, and woman he will fall in love with when they are at the bathhouse. 5. Her name means Crimson Princess. 6. His name means Echo. Guess who's the father? He is off. 7. Kodama and Nico was Fourth S best friend and Kushina best friends, and was asked to watch over Naruto should anything happen. I got tired of all the fics that bashed Sasuke mom and dad as demon-hating loud killer spurkers. 8. Her name means sunlight. 9. Yes people, it's lighting from Final Fantasy XIII, but she will not be a harem member. She is a guest star along for the ride for no at least. 10. To Yuya of the Illusion. Naruto has read the contracts his mother had set up for him. What will happen? Who will it be? The ones to freak? We'll have to just wait and see on the next Dragon Ball Z. Bet that killer B. This is Naruto, you dumbass, not Dragon Ball Z. Don't compare my Naruto-kun godly show to that crap, Anko yelled. Yes my hubby Haim, but for the record I like DBZ, it's great, me. Review, or I will send Guy and Lee on your ass to hug you to death. OCs wanted. I need OCs, that's all. Plans, plots and old faces. I'm BAAAAAAAAACK with another chapter in this epic tale of love, war, hate, peace and all of other good shit and things you love about this. Sorry about the long wait, I had kind of ran into a little block, add to the fact I had carpal tunnel in me left hand for several weeks and a few other things, but now it's all better. I am ready to get this show on the road. I have changed Naruto's Zanpakuto from Okureisuru Kami Umi Arashi, Enrage Divine Sea Storm, to Okureisuru, Shinhayat, Enrage, Divine Hurricane, on Akuma Heika suggestion, thanks to. I am also might be going to change the harem members. I know their errors. I was at school working at this, so I wasn't really paying it much mind. I wanted to get this out. IPROMESE to fix it as soon as possible. Thought speech and pissed of Naruto. Naruto it's so big, Shiva said. Yelling and very pissed of Naruto speech. Naruto it's so big, Shiva said. Story speech. Naruto it's so big, Shiva said. It had been 2 whole months since the council had found about his family, noble background and the public had somehow found out about his parents and after much yelling. He, from the old monkey, and deaths, civilians and or a ninja or two, most of them finally got it through their head that Naruto was the son of 2 of the most famous clan in all of the world, and that was when the problems of the civilians tried to get him to wed their daughters so that they should get political power for themselves. Women divorced their husbands at the chance to marry the heir of Konoha as he was called by many. There were some good things to happen to him as well. He married his goddess Shiva a few weeks after their meeting and Naruto could happily say that he loved her and she loved him, not that she liked to showed it around others much to the civilians' displeasure, not that he cared what they getting her to open up was easier than he thought it would be. Flashback no jutsu. So Shiva-chan, care to tell me a little about yourself? Naruto asked the 4-armed goddess as they waited for Neko's return. Why do you want to know anything about me? She said rather coldly. Come on, we're going to have to marry each other, we might as well get to know each other, Naruto said with a foxy grin that could normally melt in icy persona, key word being normally, all he got was a big, fat, cold, no, from the 4-armed goddess. Come on, I don't want our marriage to be so cold, I want to get to know the woman that I'm going to wed, Naruto said. No, there will be no point in getting to know you, I am doing this for my people only, Shiva said sternly. Please see? Naruto asked while use his Kitsune no Jutsu aka the big-eyed fox jutsu. Fine, but if you ask anything, pervert, I will bet the living hell out of you, she said back. Yes, Naruto yelled out happily. Flashback no jutsu kai. Their moving in was a major problem, though many of the civilians saw them as demons, so He tried to stay away from them as much as they, and then there was a certain duck-butted shaped haired Uchiha who could take a hint even if it were to bitch slapped him in the face, always challenge him to a fights. Flashback no jutsu. A few hours ago. Dobi fight me, said a certain duck-butt-haired Uchiha as Naruto lay in a tree petting Tora the demon cat, who was purring in content as her new master gently stroked her fur. Turning to look down at Sasuke. Why would I fight you, Sasuke? Naruto asked. Because I am a elite and you're just a dead last clan-less loser whose mother was a no more than a kamo whore who got lucky with the 4th Hokage and ended up knocked up and blackmailed him into marrying her. Sasuke yelled. No, Uchiha, I see no point in fighting you, and also if you ever taking about my other like that again, I promise you'll never live to see the next day, Naruto said with a lock key before he went back to laying in his tree with Yoruichi curled around his neck asleep with Tora purring happily in his lap as he gently stroked her fur. Gukaku no jutsu. Sasuke shooting the fireball at the tree with his Sharingan spinning. 1. Fine sass guy, since you want to fight me at me in the Chunin exam stadium in a few hours, Naruto said before he's shunshin home. Soon Dobi you will know you place in this world, Sasuke thought before leaving the area. Flashback no jutsu kai. The Uzumaki clan home was not really a home, it was more like a fortress. It had a 10-foot tall wall surrounding. The inner yard had a zen garden with a pond filled with koi fish swimming around fully with a few Shoken children feeding them. As for the Shoken themselves, they numbered less than 150. Proof of the war's price and toll of the Shoken were pregnant women, children and the elderly so few in number they chose to stay in a second smaller home not far from them, the main one. The main home itself was huge, standing at over 5 stories, over 40 rooms and full bathrooms, 2 onsen, a armory and forge, a war room and a few other things. In Naruto's room. So Naruto-kun, I hear you going to fight the Uchiha, Anko said, kissing him on the lips as she entered her bedroom and sat in front of him. Where did you hear that? Naruto asked her, warping his arms around her stomach and pulling her into a hug and resting his head on her shoulder before kissing her on the cheek. Everyone's talking about the fight of the great clan's heirs. The Uchiha has been telling everyone about your fight and how he was going to put you in your place in this world, Anko said, enjoying the feel of his arms. Well, I am going to fix that then, Naruto said while squeezing Anko butt. You really are a pervert, Foxy-kun, Anko said playfully as she wiggled her butt. Only yours and the others, Naruto said with a small smile. Try not to bet the Uchiha's prissy ass too much, okay, Anko said with a small laugh. I will try, Naruto said, kissing her neck before letting her go. I love you, Foxy-kun, Anko said, kissing him on the lips before leaving their bedroom. Naruto-sama, said a calm but almost Gale-like voice called. Walking over to the Nodashi on the stand, and he gently traced the length of the blade before picking it up, always admiring the beauty of the blade. Forgive me, Haim-chan, it was never my intent to forget you, Naruto said, setting on down with the blade in his lap. I forgive you this time, but don't let it happen again, the blade said somewhat playfully. Smirking, he closed his eyes and entered his inner world. Inner world. Naruto opened his eyes and found himself in an open grassy field with Severa. Windmills blowing lazily into the bottom of a small hill was a lake with a single figure standing at the down to the lake. He was undoubtedly certain the figure was a female, standing 5 feet 5. Her pale skin and features were only highlighted by the various shades of blue and gray of the junihito she wore. Her face was heart-shaped with stunning light blue lipstick and waist-length light gray hair. Rs put up like Soda no Shirayuki from Bleach, a pair of getaway to her right. Turning her head, she saw her master looking her over while saying along the line is beautiful, which made her blush and Churn smiled when he saw his partner of mind and soul turn away with blushing. Haim-chan, Naruto said, using the nickname for his Zanpakuto while hugging her. From into the hug she enjoyed the contact of her master and secret love. So Haim-chan, when are you going to tell me your name? Naruto asked. Turning around so she was facing him, she placed her hand over his heart, enjoying the feel of the organ rhythmic beat. I will, you Naruto-sama, Haim said, move her lips so that they were gazing his. When you're ready, she said, she quickly moving away before he could kiss her with a playful smirk on her face. She left a stunned Naruto behind as so started to walking along the shore of the lake. That little minx, well too can play that game, Naruto thought to himself with a smile to catch up with the sword spirit before accidentally tripping while calling out Haim's name, and as she turned around reached out and gasped anything to stop his fall, which was the front of her junihito. The fabric ripped easily, allowing Naruto a good vary of her H-size breast that were barely held in the light blue bra so wore. The panties were a match in color to her bra. The panties themselves looked like they were too small, which kept her ass cheeks together, and the while Haim mind was processing what just happened. Did he? No, Naruto-kun would never do something like that unintentionally, Haim thought to herself. Keep telling yourself that you and I both know it was intentional, said a voice that sounded like hers. No, Naruto-kun is sweet, he would never do anything like this intentionally, would he? Haim sked not rally, liking the thought of doubting her master. Yes he would, and by the look he's giving you he likes what he sees. I say we go get him before the others can, the voice said. But Naruto-kun don't love me like that, not like the others, the voice said. Yahid, as you see the looks he giving you, he wants you like the just like the others, the voice said. Making up her mind, so pounced on her master and pinned his arms above his head and attacked his mouth with licked her lips, asking for permission to enter. Their tongues meet and in turn dance over each other as they battled for control, which Haim won out in the end. I've wanted to do that for so long, Naruto-kun, Haim said more to herself, breaking apart from her master. Wow, Haim, it was just wow, Naruto said with a large smile. I'm so sorry, Naruto-sama, I don't know what came over me, Haim said hastily, hoping her master wouldn't be to argue with her display of affection after she came to a realization of her feelings for him came out. Don't be sorry, Haim-chan, I enjoyed it a lot, Naruto said with a silly grin. You did? Haim asked carefully. Of course I did, the fact that a beauty like you did it makes it a lot more enjoyable, Naruto said before cupping her face and kissing her more. With some civilians. Damn demon brat, how dare he challenge Sasuke-sama to a fight, said a merchant by the name Kenshi. It doesn't matter, Sasuke-sama will wipe the ground with the demon brat and it will prove the strength of the Uchiha clan to all, said a man who was a no Kyuubi hater that went by the name of Sokka. I don't know, from what I heard the demon has become good enough to even be able to take on Chuck Norris on for at least a few seconds and live, Kenshi said. After a few minutes of silence, Sokka came up with the idea to stop the demon brat. Kenshi, does the demon brat still goes to the ramen stand? Sokka asked his friend. Yes, he goes there often and eats with the old chief's daughter when she is not busy, Kenshi. Okay, Kenshi here plan we take the old mon's daughter and force him to spike the demon brat's food to slow him down enough so Sasuke-sama can win, Sokka said with no small amount of glee. I like the idea, but the girl has seen us enough that she knows our faces, she'll be able to identify us, Kenshi said. That's why we'll get Uma to kidnap her first, she'll just have to not use her real mask, Sokka said. There's still the fact that the demon heals from everything we do to him, he'll just cleanse himself of the poison long before the fight, Kenshi pointed out. That would normally be troublesome, but a few years ago, a doctor came up with a drug or something to stop the demon's healing powers, Sokka said. It's a plan then, I'll tell Uma, Kenshi said, add his own grin to match Sokka's before leaving to inform Uma about their plan. Back with Naruto and Hime. Naruto was locked in an epic duel so powerful it could end the world as they knew it. He was tongue-kissing Hime. Their tongues fighting for control of the other. A fight that Hime manged to apart. Hime enjoyed the flushed look on his face. What's wrong? Naruto-sama can't handle a little kiss for little old me, Hime asked sultry with a smile, who was still wheeling from the kiss could not from a comeback, which made the Hime grin even wider. Snapping back into reality, he warped his arms around her waist and pulled her closer to him as she rested her head on his chest, the two enjoying the sun's rays as they lay in peaceful silence, just simply holding each other. Naruto-kun, please be careful when you're fighting the Uchiha. If I were to lose you, I don't know what I would do, Hime said, hugging him tightly, afraid he would disappear at any minute. Don't worry, Hime-chan, I don't do anything too dangerous. For once in my life I got something in my life worth living. Fighting for you and the others, and hell even the Shoken, are my life, and I don't plan on losing you or them anytime soon, Naruto said with all of his emotion. But still, Naruto-kun, please be careful. Oh, there is still a lot of people that hate you, even though they know your family's past, and they would give anything to see you die, Hime said, trying to hide the tears in her eyes. Hime-chan, look at Naruto asked, lifting her chin so she was looking into her eyes. When I say I won't lose, I won't, and that's a promise, Naruto said before kissing her on the lips. Believe it, Naruto said after they broke apart from one another. Somewhere in the middle of the Suna Desert. Kushina-sama, now you're back, what are you planning to do? Asked a woman of dark skin tone and large breast, black and white cloths, hint hint. Simple, my little Empress-chan, we find my son and then we find the asshole who sent me away and rip him to shreds, Kushina. As you wish, Kushina-sama, the woman named said Empress said. 9 other people also wearing black and white joined the two people. This will be fun, said a blue-haired man with a large smile. Yes it will, my little panther, yes it will, Kushina said. Get ready, Con. Oha because Kushina is back in town, she thought to herself. I know it not long, but I thought I put it out anyways, you all deserve it for sticking with me. 1. Sasuke got his Sharingan during the clan massacre. 2. Naruto don't know her real name, so he calls her Hime. Help p. Help plz someone. I can't make a good fight, I will give them a cookie of their choice. Rules of the fight are: Naruto just barely wins. Naruto loses the ability to use a arm, pref is his left arm. Sasuke uses Chidori and nips Naruto. Naruto uses Hime in the fight and she cracks. How much is up to you, but it has to do with the fact Naruto was poison. And that's all. Mirror version. Bonus. Kushina is given a cookie. The Chunin exam stage was set, the time was right, and Naruto was ready to fight. Standing across from Sasuke, Naruto stood wearing a skin-tight shirt, black sleeveless shirt, and a matching pair of black ninja pants and shoes. His headband was replaced by a simple plain black cloth cage striped to his back and Hime in his hands. Naruto slightly swayed to the side, bracing himself with Hime. He quickly righted himself. Naruto-sama, are you feeling alright? I sense you're weakened greatly, you're in no condit. I on to fight? Hime asked, considered for the welfare of her master. I am fine, Hime, just one too many bowls of ramen, Naruto said. Naruto-sama, Hime said before quieting down. Besides, you remember what their others said, don't you? Naruto said. Flashback no jutsu. Chunin exam practice room. Anko, Kurenai, Makoto, and Shiva walked into a sight many women and a few men would die to see a shirtless and Headband-less Naruto sitting in the middle of the room with Haim in his lap in a meditative from. Some of the old scar from his less than happy childhood were clearly visible. Anko, Kurenai, and Makoto could not help but get mad at the village for their inability to tell an innocent man from the evil locked inside him. Shiva on the other hand could not help but a little turn on by the many scars that donned his chest. Sensing the four women walk into the room, Naruto opened his eyes to the sight of the four. Makoto was shocked at the look of Naruto, who smiled a bit. "You see something you like, ka?" "Rasu-chan," Naruto said as Makoto tried to hide her blush. "Naruto-kun, what happened to your eyes?" Makoto asked. Moving within kissing space, Naruto gave her a quick pick on the lips that quickly turned into a full-blown make-out session. The two soon had to break apart for some air, leaving a blushing and slightly horny Makoto happy before answer her. "My eyes got like this from some that saved me from that saved me from myself," Naruto said. "So you all here to wish me good luck?" Naruto said, picking up Haim and placing her in her sheath and putting on his shirt, much to the displeasure of the four women. "Yap, Foxy-kun, hope you're ready to kick that Uchiha pompous ass. No offense, Makoto-chan," Anko said, doping herself around Naruto. "Non-taking Anko-san, truth is Sasuke has stopped being my s. On a long time ago. Ever since the clan was massacred he has never been the same. Maybe this fight is what he needs," Makoto said sadly. "Yup, bet it will. Karasu-chan, I will teach him a humility lesson he won't soon forget," Naruto said with a thumbs up and a small kiss on the lips. "I believe you will, Naru-kun, just don't hurt him too badly," Makoto said with no small amount of blush. "I won't, I will just I've him a few broken ribs and maybe fractured bone or two," Naruto said. "I have something special planned for you if you win, Foxy-kun," Anko said, grabbing Kurenai and pulling her into a heated kiss, who returned it with equal passion. Naruto nearly passed put at the open display of sex, but he held as up till Anko started to undo Kurenai's bandaged dress and fondling her bare breast. Something caused Naruto to pass out from extreme blood loss. He look like we broke him, Kur-chan," Anko said as Makoto poked his pale body with a small smile on her face. 5 minutes later, Naruto woke up with his head in Makoto's lap as she gently run one of her hands through his hair. "What happened to me?" Naruto asked. "You passed out from blood loss like the big pervert you are," Shiva said simply. "That cold. Ryu-chan, too," Naruto said as he sit in the corner by himself with a sad look on his face, something that made the other women in the room giggle. "So Naruto, what is your plan to bet Sasuke?" Kurenai asked. "I don't know if Kakashi really has trained Sasuke as much as I think he has. Then I will be in for a tough fight," Naruto said. "How will you counter the Sharingan is a better question," Anko said. "I got my ways, hubby Haim. Let's just say that takes to a certain someone that duck but won't be able to copy my moves," Naruto said with a large grin. "I hope you're right, Naru-kun," Makoto said softly. "You re-cute when you worry, Karasu-chan," Naruto said, making the older woman blush. "Foxy-kun, when you bet Sasuke I got a special reward for your hard work," Anko said, placing one of Naruto's hands on her exposed breast. "Go ahead, give them a squeeze," Anko said with a small prompt. "They're so soft, hubby-chan," Naruto said, getting a nosebleed. "They're all yours too if you bet Sasuke, Foxy-kun," Anko said, licking his ear. Shunching into the area, Sasuke and Kakashi looked overly happy. Looking Sasuke. "I hope you're ready to lose, Dobi," Sasuke taking the usual Uchiha fighting stance. "You wish, duck butt," Naruto said. Before the Uchiha charged at the blonde, Sasuke threw some kunai at the blonde, who dodged the deadly weapon. Using that time, Sasuke made so hand sign and shoot some fireball at the blonde ninja. Naru to easily block the deadly weapons, but was not prepared for the hard punch to the stomach that sent him stumbling back a bit from the force. "I admit, Sasuke, that hurt bit, but it won't happen again," Naruto righting himself with practiced ease. "Whatever you say, Dobi," Sasuke said before once again charging at the blonde. Naruto easily dodged the first few attacks from Sasuke, but Naruto was slowly being pushed back by Sasuke's constant attacks. Trapping over his own foot, Sasuke was placed in a bad spot in the stands. "Looks like Naruto is having a hard time out there, Anko-san," Kakashi said with a smug smile. "Looks like Naruto is turning this around, Hatake-kun," Anko said just as Naruto landed a right hook to Sasuke's face that sent him flying back and quickly Ed pressed his attack. We will see. Snake bitch, Kakashi thought turning back to the fight. With Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto quickly used Sasuke's mistake to his advantage attacking aiming a punch at Sasuke's face. Naruto hit him hard garbing his leg. Naruto slammed Sasuke into the ground cranking it in the process.